What up, everybody? I'm your host, JP. This is my co-host, Josh.
Hey, everyone.
And welcome back to another episode of the FilmBros podcast. All right, so we got a good show today. Some really funny little topics today because, well, one, it's funny because we just did an episode about Fast and the Furious, but a bunch of little things started popping up about, Vin and all that stuff. And then on top of that, we're hearing that we're getting a whole slew of like new movies. I don't know if you know, Eva Longoria was in the news at 1.2. I don't know. It's a weird list today, but we're gonna go through it.
All right.
And the first topic, obviously, I'm gonna have to just crack it wide open, is the Cinderella horror spinoff called Cinderella's Curse. I mean, everybody knows that the little production company that made that Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, they're making a second part. Mm-hmm. All right, they're getting a sequel.
Better budget too.
Peter Pan is getting a green light, a horror spinoff. I think they were in talks to do a Mulan as well at one point. Right now, we're hearing that Cinderella is another one loaded into the chamber, ready to start production on and shoot out another horror movie. Now, we haven't seen any of the ones that came out just yet, right? We haven't seen the Winnie the Pooh one, which I'm honestly waiting for it to come out on streaming. So whenever that happens,
I thought it would have hit Peacock already.
I know. Is Universal didn't put that out? Did they? No. It was like a small budgeted movie. I don't know where it's gonna come out, but I know eventually Netflix might pick it up.
Probably, yeah, maybe one of the streaming sites.
Assuming we still have Netflix by then. I mean, you've been hearing that Netflix is gonna start charging and shit.
Oh yeah, it's already $7 for a body outside of your household. That is almost like $40.
Are you password sharing right now?
I password share with a few people. I'm not gonna name names, but I've already claimed that where I'm at is my household. So that was like the first thing I did when I opened Netflix the other day, and it told me, I'm like, damn, I'm gonna have to register, and then it asked me, and I was like, can I skip? And they were like, no, but if you skip, we're gonna assume which house it is, and either way we're gonna charge. And I'm like, that is some shit, dude. So I was just like, might as well confirm that it's this house that, and I mean, we use it. So, but it pisses me off so much.
So now nobody except for us, obviously, can use it, but nobody else is allowed to use it because you'll get charged $7.
Basically, I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna need you to front me $8 if you want my password.
Right, you're gonna have to start. What is it? You know when you ask a homie for a ride, is gas, acid, grass. Oh, well. Hopefully, we're not doing that for no Netflix.
You better be giving it up for Netflix. That's dumb, dude.
But if you don't have that subscription, like I said, it probably is going to be on there first. Netflix usually picks up all these little indie movies really quick. But, yeah, Cinderella's Curse. Is this this has to be a problem with the public domain right there.
For sure. The world kind of fucked up when the first thing people decide to do with these characters once they hit public domain is horror movies. It makes me very scared for Superman and Batman. You know what I mean? When they hit public domain, it makes me very afraid of what we're gonna get.
People are gonna do some shit with that.
Yeah,
I mean, did a lot of people reject Brightburn when that came out? Not really.
Well, not really, but I mean, it
wasn't well received
around that time. It was like the trope of evil Superman stuff. So they were just like, "Oh, he's another variation of that."
And I'm assuming because Blood and Honey did some kind of numbers at the box office, it wasn't like wow, but it's wow for a movie that was like solo budget and it only took like 10 days to film. So, they're full steam ahead with all these spinoffs. Is this leading up to like a horror movie Avengers type shit?
No,
like we're gonna see Winnie the Pooh teaming up with Cinderella to like kill all these, I don't know, innocent people. I haven't seen the movies. I don't know who Winnie the Pooh, that one, are they like cannibals and they just eat people?
I think so. I'm not sure. I don't know. Either way, scary fucking concept. And I hope for the Cinderella one, like, because we kind of know the original story. You know, people are like, oh, the sisters or whatever cut their feet off or whatever to try and fit their feet into the glass shoe or whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, I hope they do something fun and they twist it, because I feel like everybody knows that twist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody knows the original story, so I hope they get fun with it at least.
Right. Instead of losing her shoe, she loses her whole damn foot.
Oh,
they're trying to look. They're trying to find out who the foot matches to.
It's gonna be hard to do that. What are the chances everyone
No.
loses a foot?
But then she lives in a village where everybody has lost a foot. That makes sense. And they only have the right foot.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, and somehow she was the only one, and everybody was jealous. She had it, and then she goes on a rampage because she lost her foot. And until she finds it, then there will be peace. I already got the movie. I already figured it out. I know what's happening.
Now watch. They're gonna make it in like. It's not gonna be the poor people like her and her sister's family. It's gonna be like the rich people that are gonna be the horror villains in that one. Watch.
Yeah. You think so?
That's my theory.
All right. We still gotta watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, though. We gotta get around to that eventually. I don't know. Hopefully it's somewhere soon. But moving on, though, something that hit the table, obviously, and it's not gonna get out of anybody's mouths anytime soon. So, buckle up, guys. It's James Gunn again. He's back on our topics. This one is kind of concerning. I'm more. I feel like people have a point. So he's been everybody knows that this is his fault. We read a couple weeks ago or last week one of his tweets that he put out, basically saying don't believe anybody, that he's going to reduce his time on Twitter, which have not seen that reduction of time at all since he's said that. Mm-hmm. So he was basically asked what he's going to do different over there at DC on Twitter and stuff like that. And he basically responding, I'm hiring great directors and great writers. I'm going to be doing interesting stuff. If nothing else, that's what I'd rather make. Stuff that's interesting and doesn't work than stuff that is just the same old thing and we've seen again and again. So we know that is doing something different. I mean, we got James Mangold in the fold for Swamp Thing, right? We have a couple of names down under for the movies that he's going to be making pretty soon. But one thing that a lot of people, seem to be bringing up a lot is that he's doing a lot of talking on Twitter. Even when as far as saying that he's hiring writers and directors right now, right? And the key word right now is writers, because right now there is a writer's strike going on, right? If you're hiring these writers, you know that there's a strike going on. Why hasn't he said anything pertaining to the strike, saying that, he's halted work on his projects or something as head of DC Studios? A lot of people think that he is right next to Zaslav, has a direct line over there who can tell him basically, Ayo, we got to pay our writers or something. So a lot of people are wondering where his voice is for that.
It would make sense. I mean, a lot of people are coming out and supporting them, but he's just one of those people that are like, eek, I got shit to do. I can't be signing with y'all. But sympathy from the side. like he's not gonna say anything because he knows that he's probably gonna remain impartial regardless. Because who knows what Zaslav would say to him? You know what I mean, about the strike and whatnot. And I think we've theorized it before. Like, he's not gonna stop working because of the strike. He's trying to pump out shit for his DCU.
He's in a tough spot.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, he's just a producer, right? Or like a CEO. So he can do some duties, but there's other things that he can't do.
He's a writer. He writes his movies. So
he's part of the Writers Guild. So I know that that's a problem. I know that means that he's not allowed to do rewrites or anything like that. Like I said before, we don't know if he's not gonna not do that. Like I said, he's in a rock and a hard place. So, but this is where, if I was Zaslav, I'd be looking at him like, Bruh, get off fucking Twitter, Bri. What the fuck am I saying? Get off fucking Twitter, James. What the fuck, dude? People are asking questions now. Now you're going to have to address the writers' strike, which you should have done a long time ago. People are getting impatient. People are wondering, hey, when is he going to say something? I mean, it is a pickle, and James is really digging himself in one big hole. A really bad hole, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we knew we'd get to this. It's on his part, it's more of just like, damn. Because now we do have to. Now I do want to know if he's gonna say anything about it, or if he's just gonna be like keep brushing it under the rug so he can keep working in silence. Because I feel like once people finally get it and are like, he's still working under the strike and stuff, that's when everything starts tumbling beneath him. I feel.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure that's why he's trying to keep it hushity hush now, because, I mean, like I said, he should have probably thought about that a long time ago. It shouldn't have been like this big deal now where it's been put off for too long. Now people are questioning, hey, what the fuck? You haven't said nothing about it. You know what I mean? Even the writers are kind of like, a bit bop, my guy, what the fuck? You should be helping us out. You know, him, especially, somebody did make the case where, you know, he is the one who directly goes to Zaslav himself. So if you go directly into him, that means you guys have conversations on a rig. And either he's playing company man and Zaslav saying, hey, keep your mouth shut about this shit, or he's genuinely trying to just dodge the minefield. And maybe Zaslav saying, hey, maybe you should say something. He's like, well, I don't want to get in the middle of all that, because that's another field of minds that I don't want to have to dance around. Especially, you know, you got the Snyderverse fans, you got the Flash coming out, which is a problem because that one's coming out. You don't want to hurt it even more. He already knows that he undercut that movie. I'm pretty sure he understands that he undercut that movie. Hella, like all these movies, he undercut them. So he's in a position. He is in a position, 100%.
For someone like him, being silent, you know, it would probably benefit more than saying something and then getting that wrong. You know, why move? You know what I mean? He doesn't have to technically, but I mean, he's very vocal on Twitter, so I'd imagine he will.
Yeah,
eventually.
That's the problem. You're right. Why move? He doesn't have to move, but why be a voice for your projects, for everything that's happening? I mean, a lot of people said it too. He's been vocal about Guardians of the Galaxy 3. You know, go watch it. He always puts up clips right now of, you know, the CGI, the pre-production CGI and all that stuff. Why not put out just a simple tweet saying that we stand with the writers? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like,
causes issues.
It's a problem. It's a problem for these people. I'm not sure if it's a problem for me, but it is definitely a problem.
Well, and this is, like I said, this is all problems that he made for himself. So how sorry can you feel for him is beyond me. But, you know, I give him some sympathy because he is in a rock and a hard place, but not too much because he put himself at that point now. He was already in a compromising position. Now he's in an even worse position. You know what I mean? He just keeps adding on top, and I don't think this is a good start for DC because it's a split thing right now, and it's completely divided. We got the Flash coming out pretty soon, which he calls the best movie out there, right? The best superhero film that he's seen. The best movie all year, he says. Tom Cruise has said the same thing. So, I don't know. I don't know if he's right, if he's writing on this movie as well. I don't know if this is something Zaslav's looking at, like, hey, how is he handling the launch of The Flash? Is he, you know, is something going to come out of this movie, you know? It being an anticipated film in his roster.
What are you saying like that?
Well, I don't know. Just came out.
I mean, I mean, oh man, how to word this? Yeah, I mean, he knows. I'm sure he is writing on the Flash. You know what I mean? I'm sure a lot of the DC stuff is writing on the Flash. You know, not just box office wise, but story wise and all that. They need this one to be understood and grasped fully so the next ones can succeed.
Mhm.
As far as things under that umbrella, like, saying, oh, this is gonna be different, and we're doing things that are fun and whatnot, and then saying like he's hiring writers and directors, where? You know what I mean? That's my big thing. Where are they? We've heard a slew of things, just like, oh, he said he's not really doing it, Ben Affleck, and then you had other people who were like, oh yeah, we were approached, but we turned it down, whatever. And then the scripts, they make it, like you said, they make it sound like they're stacked. I'm sure they're not stacked. They are running out of steam quite quickly. So who's writing these stories, and I'd imagine it's just him and like a few other people, but it's not anyone valid like before.
Yeah, because I mean, we even heard little things too, where it's like Ryan Reynolds is not even allowed to improvise on his script for Deadpool 3 because he's part of the Writers Guild, right? But
that's just tough.
They're actively in production of what's the movie right now? The Weasel movie. No, not the Weasel movie. The show. Creature Commandos.
Creature Commandos, yeah.
Right now, they're in the middle of that right now. So, is he doing rewrites on those? If he's the one who wrote this script, is he doing it on the DL? Not really giving a fuck? Because we've been hearing, Marvel's been cut at the knees because of all this stuff. Daredevil being delayed. A lot of movie production over there. Thunderbolts getting that plug removed because of the Writers Guild. We're hearing a lot of things being stopped on that side. I have yet to see, hey, Creature Commandos on hold due to writer's strike. Or, you know what I mean? Superman Legacy not going to be able to be possible due to writer's strike. Like, we haven't heard anything. I know Superman Legacy is kind of far out there. I would just say maybe Creature Commandos. Like, we haven't heard any pause on that production whatsoever.
He's probably writing it still, dude. Just secretly, but no one's willing to bet nights or Nightman. They'd be like, James Gunn writing Third Strike? Nah. But if it was someone else, they'd be out for their neck. I firmly believe that.
I'm sure favorites are picked, but yeah, this is one of those things that it's like, man, you can tell certain people are getting away with this shit. And if he's one of those that's getting away with it, I mean, like I said, if he needs to do it, I understand 100%. Doing it on the DL, keeping it on the low, that's fine. But at least put something out there. Like, if he said Creature Commandos was, put on hold or whatever, and they were still secretly recording or whatever, blah, 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 rewriting, whatever. And then when the writer's strike is over, he's just like, oh no, look, we were almost done from a long time ago, and it's perfect. Like, you know what I mean? And just play the game like it's supposed to. Instead, he's just blatantly, from what it looks like, blatantly doing it in secret. If that makes sense, I don't know how loud you could be when you're doing it in secret. It's basically like he's behind this wall, but the wall is actually see-through glass. And he's over here like, just writing stuff down in the behind the window, and everybody's just kind of looking at him. It's just like, is he doing what we think he's doing? And he's just like, writing stuff. It doesn't.
He was doing it.
I don't know. But I think this is pretty bad, in my opinion. If it comes to light that he is still writing, there's no more defending this man. At that point, his work is gonna have to speak for himself. If you were writing during the writer's strike, this shit better be golden, guy. These people better be like, damn, it was worth it. Which I don't know how worth it would be while others are, not getting paid and shit like that. So, hey, that's just me. That is just me. But on the other side of the aisle, we do have some trouble as well. So we did hear that there was potentially a switch up happening with the Avengers due to Jonathan Majors having some legal issues. Okay, allegedly. We heard that Marvel could be looking to recast, not necessarily change up the roster, because from what we're hearing, there's a rumor from the Scoopers, Jeff Snyder, basically saying that due to Jonathan Majors' performance, okay, what they saw in Quantumanium, what they saw in Loki, it already had compelled Marvel, maybe up all the way to Kevin Feige, saying like, oh, he is so good, we are going to basically make this saga about him. And what more, how great could it be that he's throughout this whole couple of phases. So we hear, and this is the quote that was told to Screen Rant actually. I was told by someone who works for Marvel, it was not the plan to make Kang the center of everything until we saw the dailies from Quantumania and after his performance in Loki, which was so strong they were like, this is it, this is our way forward. They don't usually hang this much on one person in the way that they did here, and that has put them in a bind. We do not know what they are going to do. I've heard conflicting stories about they are going to replace him. They're not even considering replacing him, but it's just one more thing. So the scooper says, hey, Marvel put themselves in their, just like James Gunn, put themselves in their own bind right now in this pickle that they're in, because what I'm assuming Kang was supposed to be maybe like a phase villain, I would say, turned into the big bad of the MCU. So a lot of things were already rearranged. Who knows how many movies he would have been in? Maybe he would have been a build up to an Avengers movie at the very end of the line of Phase 5 or something. And then Feige was like, no, he is so good that we need to save him for that big bad in the center of the universe. So, I don't know. What do you think that Marvel was a little too hasty with their decisions?
No, I think they nailed it, but the problem is he had to go and get caught up with the police and his whole case going on. But I think they were right on the money. Like I said, he was a perfect fucking king, and I wish we get more of him down the line somewhere, But yeah, banking, they've never really banked on a character like this or an actor like this for the role. So the fact that they do it first try, and then he gets fucked up on it, you're just like, damn, what a waste. But basically, yeah, putting all your chips on Jonathan Majors was just a very, probably smart at the time, but now it's just backfiring.
And backfiring, it is really bad. So we don't know what's happening with him yet. Obviously, I think his next case is on June 11th.
Yeah.
Coming up here pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
Right before the Flash movie. Crazy. We'll probably hear a little bit more with that, but you're probably right. At the time, they were probably like, "This is so fucking genius," and then maybe like a couple months later, Feige was like, "Fuck," you know what I mean? Like, oh shit. Like,
well, yeah, because look, like I said, like I'll keep praising it. He was phenomenal in Loki. Like that was the first time, no one was expecting him. He showed up and he did his thing. He was like very charismatic for the one. I forget what his name was in that one. It was Kang, but it wasn't Kang. You know what I mean? It was something else, something fancier.
Yeah.
And like he stole the show. Phenomenal ending. I don't give a fuck. Like if you saw Loki and then like you were like, oh, the finale sucks because Sylvie and him kissed, you're tripping out, because I think Jonathan Majors carried the fuck out of that episode, the ending too. Besides the point.
Yeah, but that kiss was kind of
besides
weird.
the point.
Okay.
Besides the point. Moving forward. Quantumania comes through, and Feige was probably like, oh, we're gonna get him. Kang, kill him. Ooh, kill him. And then, everything kind of tumbled down after. We don't know where he went. We just, but like they were really betting on this man, and I have no doubt if he wasn't crapping out like this, he'd be there. But man, I don't know I don't know where we'd go after changing him. I don't think I can see another person. I know people are like, oh, just get another menacing person, and I'm like, how? He delivered it correctly. Like who's gonna follow up after that? You know what I mean?
Follow up Kang's portrayal or Jonathan Majors' portrayal of Kang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I mean, okay, I get that you loved his portrayal. All right, I understand.
Tread carefully.
I liked his portrayal as well. I think it's more the whole process that they're going through right now. I understand Disney's making sure, like, hey, we got to make sure that we tread lightly, but I don't think they're really in a hurry to make decisions right now, too. I think because of the writer's strike that's happening and everything being put on a standstill, I think this gives them more time to A, prepare, and B, at least hold out and wait until the verdict comes out. And since they've been silent the whole time, they can either drop him like a bad habit, or, you know, if he's innocent, they'll pick him up and be like, hey, we were with him all along, just behind closed doors. We were just, you know, we just had to, you know, wait to see what happens, blah, 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 blah. That'll be different. But I think they have room and wiggle room to make a decision right now. I think they're in a position where they're not too worried. Obviously they are going to have to make a decision, but I think right now they're at a time where they can make decisions, see how it could play out, kind of stuff, and go on from there. And I'm sure Disney's not going to move without making a calculated, I mean, hopefully they're smarter than that, but, you know, Disney's surprised us before, so hopefully they make a calculated decision and move forward from that.
Well, yeah, maybe. I think they obviously do have a lot of time. I stuttered so hard right there. I am so sorry. I said like it was bad. You know what I mean? But like betting all on an actor is crazy. Because yeah, we've never seen it before. Josh Brolin was a one and done, you know. Like people, and this is, I think it's a little different too, because I'm gonna bring it up right now, but hiring someone for a sequel and then, like, you know, more movies down the line, I think that's a lot different than placing it all on one big bad. You know what I mean? Because he's supposed to be playing different. He's playing Kang, but he's playing different versions of Kang. So they're all supposed to look like him. I think
put themselves in the corner with that one.
Well, yeah, but like, shut up. Who's the best option? Like in Iron Man, what's his name with Rhodey? The dude they changed from Rhodey.
Don Cheadle.
The first guy. When they
Lawrence
changed
Howard.
Yeah, when they changed Lawrence Howard, and then, you know, Don Cheadle came up. You're like, okay, good thing we didn't bank on him too hard.
Terrence Howard, probably.
Howard. When they were like, damn, Howard ain't cutting it because he's being money hungry. We can't bank on this man to be, you know, down the line. So now we got to bank on someone else. I think smaller roles is a little different than one major role, you know?
Well, yeah.
Like, banking on Robert Downey Jr. to be Iron Man is something they've done before, but they're not going to bank on someone small, like at the time Terrence Howard was with War Machine. You know what I mean?
Isn't that fucking crazy? They revolved the whole MCU around Iron Man. You bringing it up now. They did revolve it around Iron Man. And, you know, he was the one that came out of, like, you know, drugs and stuff like that and basically made a big comeback. And he was, like, their gold gem. And he knew everything to the very end, basically, because they trusted him that much. And I'm assuming that's what they were trying to do with Majors right now. And basically give him that cool-ass send-off at the very end. And he was the one who was clean. And he's the one who's getting into all this shit. I'm like, damn, bro. Isn't that some weird, like... I don't even know if that's karma. Like, that's just, like, bad mojo. That's bad mojo.
Yeah, maybe.
Bad mojo on Disney's part, for sure. Marvel.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, imagine if this happened sooner. Like, what would have happened if, you know, if this was Josh Brolin going when he was...
if this would have happened sooner, he would have died in Quantumanium. All Kangs, and then they would have made him, like... Or maybe
no,
not
I'm not...
Kangs,
no.
Recasted him easier.
I'm not talking about Majors. I'm talking about, like, the situation. Like, what if they were banking on RDJ, you know, he relapses or whatever, and then, you know, they're like, oh shit, we need a new Iron Man, or Josh Brolin being Thanos. What if between Infinity War and an Endgame he got into trouble? You know what I mean?
Well, he did that domestic violence stuff.
Oh, that happened between all that?
Yeah,
I didn't even know.
It happened 2014 or 2015.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, see, like, I imagine things are just very touch and go, and the MCU is willing to stick by him unless they are pushed too far. And right now they're at the edge, I imagine. And then once if they're like, he's guilty, they're like, shit, reject Ojito, cuz, and then you like throw him away.
It would have been better if all this would have happened before Quantumanium, because at least then they could have changed the post-credit scene and made them look like different characters and stuff like that. But they kind of wrote themselves in a wall and put out the movie, and now they're kind of in this pickle, so it is different for sure.
The multiverse is a funny concept.
But one thing is that's one thing that a lot of people, we talked about this before, but a lot of people have brought up was the difference between Josh Brolin when he got in his domestic violence shit and he was found guilty, or like not 100% guilty. I guess on one count, I guess, but it wasn't the battery part or something.
Who knows?
Like that. Yeah.
I don't know.
But he wound up sliding through, where everybody really thought and knew that he did it, right? This one, they don't even know that he did it, and it seems like people are writing him off already, and they think that it's kind of what the lawyer put out, the whole racial bias and stuff like that, and yada yada. So a lot of people are kind of pointing that out, and I'm kind of like, well, this will make a great case if he's innocent. If he's innocent, if he goes through all this, this is a great case of racial biases or whatever, and blah, 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 and that's fine. Cops believe in woman over man type shit, and, we'll get over it. But if he's guilty,
oh, man.
Oh, Lord, if he's guilty, all that stuff is going to go out the window, and it's going to be even harder to, to believe when people say stuff like that. Because that other dude, too, that Jesse Swollen or whatever his name is, the one that staged getting beat up and shit
Juicy
like
Smouye?
Is that him?
That Juicy Smouye?
Yes, yeah, him.
Funny you mentioned that, because I only know how to say his name because of Dave Chappelle.
Oh, okay.
Juicy Smouye?
Yeah. So him staging that beat up and all that stuff, and him using that, he used the gay card, the racial bias card, him being a man card, all that stuff, and he wound up being guilty. You know what I mean? So it's like we can't be doing this. Like we need some more innocent verdicts.
That's funny.
From this.
That's actually funny. You mentioned him. He was just like, oh, I got a rope put around my neck and they beat me up because I'm gay, and he made it all up, and you're just like, what the fuck, dude? Like it's a bit extreme. He was hot off Empire at that time.
Yeah, I think they wrote him off because of that.
Mm-hmm.
They killed him off or something. So of the show,
crazy shit. But I mean, I want to say that's kind of what's happening here, but there's a lot of good evidence against this man. So I don't know.
Those text messages did not help at all.
I wanna turn this to y'all. Like, can y'all see Kang being played by someone else? Or are you like me, where Jonathan Majors is he's kind of that guy at this point? You know what I mean?
I say John Boyega. Just get him in here. I think
I'm not ready to let go.
Jonathan Majors wasn't ready to let go either, but here he is.
I hate you.
One thing, I guess we'll just have to move on. But one thing that is happening right now. Okay, so like I said, Insider Jeff Snyder gave us a little tea, and basically let us know that Jeff Loveness, the writer of Quantumanium, he was set to go ahead and write Kang Dynasty, is now rumored to have been kicked off the project, and this was all prior to the writer's strike. This wasn't even during the writer's strike.
They let him go before?
So that's what Jeff Snyder says. Now, there's some thoughts being connected, and we know that Marvel is looking for the subreddit user that leaked the Quantumanium script.
Sheesh.
And one of the people that they're pointing fingers at is Jeff Loveness as well.
No fucking way. He was right under their noses the whole time. That'd be hilarious.
So apparently there was some things coming out as well saying that, that this could have been a potential reason why he was kicked off, but he never confirmed anything. But he did take to Twitter when all these rumors were being spread around, and basically commented on one of the posts and said, "Nah, that's not me. Didn't leak anything. All bogus." But he didn't. And like I said, all this was bundled up with the whole him getting kicked off prior to the writer's strike for Kang Dynasty.
Yeah.
He did not mention that at all. What he mentioned was him being the scooper. He said, "I am not that person," but he didn't mention him being kicked off of Kang Dynasty. So I'm not saying we don't know. This is just a rumor still, so take it with a grain of salt. We'll see if it's true when the trades pick it up, but looks highly suspicious. I'd say highly suspicious. And I waited a couple days to see if all this stuff comes out, and some receipts. Weird.
Mans was just like, well, I don't know who could be, but it wasn't me. What about you getting fired? No, none of that. I just know I didn't leak that shit. Like, what the fuck, dude? That's funny. That is so funny. If it turns out he leaked it, dude, that's gonna be the funniest shit. Man, I hope he did it. Just so I can laugh.
Just for the comedy, the comedy aspect. I see that. I'm just like, bruh, you are a writer in Hollywood. Oh well, I guess that's why they're striking right now. But I was gonna say that you make money. Why would you become a scooper?
He doesn't make money.
Yeah,
no,
obviously not. But
if the MCU catches him, they are gonna milk him for every dime he doesn't have. Like, what the fuck?
They're gonna be like, you're gonna be stuck in the Disney gulag, fucking writing Disney Plus shows for the rest of your days.
You are gonna work forever, my boy.
Yeah. Mickey's gonna be down there and everything, ready to give it to him.
Like, oh man, that would be funny if it turns out he did it. He's like, damn, this movie's ass. To Reddit, like,
y'all judge for yourself. Man.
Geez.
I hope that's not the case. I hope he's not the scooper. That'd be a crazy turn of events if it wound up being that. And then he was kicked off Kang Dynasty for that reason and completely let go of Marvel. Who would pick him up again? Nobody.
No, nobody.
Nobody would ever pick him up.
They'd be like, show me your phone.
They're going to be like, I need you to keep your phone in the cubby at all times.
Oh, my goodness. Your web restrictions, so we know when you get on Reddit. That'd be fucking hilarious.
If they find out that he was a scooper, this would be a career ender, 100%. Like, there'd be no way he'd be able to do anything in Hollywood again. That's a big thing to have leaked the whole script.
Not even like a page or two, so it could be rewritten the whole damn script.
Yeah,
weeks before release, so you know you're fucked. You know what I mean? Like,
this
had to be an inside job. I don't.
They said these are King's lines. This is shit.
Oh my goodness!
But Jonathan Majors did do the best that he could with
that
what
is
he had.
Funny, dude. I kind of hope it's him. It sucks being let go from Kang Dynasty for sure. Like, I'm sure that movie would have tied you to success immediately. You know what I mean? Like, that would have been a real banger. But yeah, now that's not the type of bang you got to worry about if you're caught. I don't know. Like, this isn't a good look for you. I'm sorry. You just said I'm not that guy. Looks both ways. I'm not him. I'm not the guy.
Fuck, dude.
That is funny.
That'd be crazy. That'd be a crazy situation to be put in. But before we move on from this topic, I had a question that kind of popped into my mind looking at this picture. You love Kang and Jonathan Majors Kang so much. Have you watched Quantumanium again?
No. I'm not going to sit through the whole movie for his thing. I'm just going to, if I have to, I'll go on YouTube and look at his scenes.
That's it? Oh, so not that much? Not so much that you wouldn't see him in his feature film debut?
I mean, like, that's the thing, because the rest of the movie is ass. I can't sit through Scott Lang. I can't sit through seeing Wasp or Cassie. Like,
Cassie.
Like, it's fucking like, I hate it. What Jonathan Majors was that gold gem, and I'm not willing to dig through shit for that gold gem. I'm sorry. I rewatched Loki for his portrayal, but like, I feel like if I really just wanted to get and like really enjoy his Kang, I'd really just find his clips on YouTube and watch him there.
Gotta love YouTube.
Thank you to those people, the underrated people who can sit through that movie, cut the clips out, and then just give me the best. Because
I'm sure they fast forward, dude.
Appreciate y'all.
I'm pretty sure they just
nah. They gotta sit through the whole thing. Well, what if they miss a scene?
Shit.
That's funny.
They go. I feel bad for the ones that went through it frame by frame to get the breakdowns and Easter eggs and all that.
Yeah, because in context, like it hits harder. You're right. Like, seeing the whole thing, but I just can't see that movie again, dude. I can't.
Not worth it. Almost worth it, but not worth it enough.
I don't know. Maybe one of these days when I get bored, I'll go back. But right now, it's still a bad taste in my mouth. We're like 2 months away from its release.
I don't think I'm ever going back. I just thought it was.
That's just because you don't like anything. No, I'm not.
I just don't like that movie. It's not a good movie. And I mean, Kang, I think he did a good job. But hearing that we might get a different Kang, I mean, why even get invested?
You want to forget? I knew it.
Why even get invested? It looks bad, dude. It looks bad. I'm saying.
I'm telling you, man. he's gonna make it out.
I hope so.
If he makes it out, I'm gonna be.
I like you being the optimistic
I'm
one.
gonna be insufferable.
You know how weird it is.
I'm like, he beat the allegations.
You know how weird it is for you to be the optimistic one and me not be. I feel like I have to be the anchor, and I don't like that.
That's funny shit, dude.
But we'll wait to see what happens with him. Hopefully he's innocent. I am hoping he's innocent. I don't want to hear that these rumors are true.
Jonathan Majors is a woman beater. Boom. Like my goodness.
Top bill news. So I did say that Vin Diesel has been making his rounds for Fast X. They've been talking about a few resurrections that decided to come back. So spoilers for Fast X if you guys haven't seen it yet. I know it's still fairly new, so if you guys haven't seen it, go watch it or skip a good portion of this because these next few topics will be about Vin Diesel and them.
Yeah, the review embargo has lifted. It lifted like Wednesday. So if you haven't seen it, go see it. But full warning, this is spoiler review.
Yeah.
You're lucky we're nice enough to give you that warning.
So we had the return of some bitch Hobbs. We wound up getting the return of The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. No comments yet from Dwayne Johnson at all, which is weird. I would assumed he would have, done one of his driving videos where it's like, it's the fans who did this and thank you guys because you guys made it possible or whatever. Like, I know it's a lot to backtrack, and I'm sure if he puts out a video or something, there's going to be a lot of people, in his comment section, obviously voicing their opinion. I'd be there. I'd be like, look who decided to come running back. Go ahead, at Dwayne Johnson. But Vin Diesel was, the kind man that he is. He went on Entertainment Tonight and gave a quote about it and said, "We have such a great cast. We lead with love. We try to create an environment where people can do their best work. That's all actors really want, is to feel as though they're supposed to create unique characters that last forever. And you see that in this franchise." So he didn't say anything, but he says the whole cast, and hearing that we're also going to be getting spin-offs, female-led spin-off.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are speculating that since Dwayne Johnson's coming back, that we might also be getting
another
a Hobbs and Shaw Part 2. So, not by name, but, he says everybody, all the characters, all the cast wants to make unique characters, and I'm sure that's what The Rock wanted to do as well. Obviously, he wants his own franchise. We talked about this before. It's funny that he couldn't, manhandle his way in the Fast franchise, so he created that beef with Vin. Try to strong arm fucking DC. Didn't come his way. Now here he is, back to the Fast family, hoping for a part 2, I'm sure, of Hobbs and Shaw, which, not gonna lie, I'm not mad at the movie. I'm not saying that movie was bad. It's just, hey, like, I will say, Ryan Reynolds is a fucking joy in that movie, 100%. But he's a joy in all kinds of movies. But, yeah, it's an interesting pickle, him coming back to this franchise.
There was a time, where it was expected that he would show up. You know what I mean? Like, where was he during 8 and 9 or whatever?
Just 9
or 9, yeah. Where was he in 9
and 10
before? No, yeah, shut up. No, where was he basically? He had that beef. If you guys can remember that beef, that shit was so weird. He was just like, oh, he's hard to work with, and I'm like, nah. I'm sure you're the hard one to work with. You got a bogus contract saying you can't lose any fights that you're in. You know what I heard on an interview once? That he said that he punches for real.
Yeah, supposedly.
Like that, I guess. Like when he hits somebody and their reaction is actually like hurt, it's because he actually hits them. And I'm like, that is fucked.
Like, I hope that's a joke.
I sure hope it is, because if it's not,
getting beat up by Batman for real. Jeez,
like Bane, not even Batman. It's Bane, his big ass. Like, like fuck. But I think him coming again, spoilers for Fast X, but him coming back is really, to me, it's a good thing and a bad thing. You know what I mean? For me, I feel like him coming back shows that he could be he can be, that person to be like, I'm sorry and whatnot, or hopefully he apologized. I hope he did.
Not yet. Hopefully he does.
Oh well, yeah. Somewhere down the line, I hope he does, and then everything works out. But
We'll be here to cover it when he does.
His ego, I think it just means that his ego can be put to the side, and he can't for movies and stuff. He can be reasonable, if that makes any sense. But it's also bad because now it only shows that he couldn't do it on his own. So now he's running back to a franchise who low key kind of did him right. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think Hobbs was one of his better characters. Like, I think that was one character I didn't mind him being full of himself and stuff like that.
He's a one note actor for sure, but this note hit different, if that makes any sense.
No, I agree. I think this one does really well. And it was a weird time because even watching Fast 8 again, I watched it a couple of days ago. You can tell, like, him and Vin Diesel were just not in the same room together.
I hear, like, I hear, like, a lot of people have beef with him, too.
Who?
Because even when, like,
No,
The Rock. Like, even back in his wrestling days, I guess, John Cena came out and he was saying that he was the hardest person to work with because he was, like, he wasn't following their formula or whatever, and he'd stray, and do the whole Rock shtick while everyone else was just trying to do their job and read their lines and stuff.
The Dwayne is the asshole in the class that, the teacher's like, hey, we're going to do it this way. And then he's like, no, I think this way would be better. And if he doesn't have it his way, he'll do it his way, and everybody else is going to try to do it the other way, but it causes friction. And he's always been that person because he's a competitive person. And I will give him this. Because he comes from a wrestling background and stuff like that, he does understand spectacle. He does understand what the fans want. And I know that he's one of those people that wants to deliver what the fans want. As in, like, I'm sure if he can just produce a whole movie under his production company and just have everything that he wants in there, he would do it tenfold. But because there's times where, you have to, like Black Adam, you got to go through DC and stuff like that. But then you have these little hiccups and stuff where it's like, oh, he didn't want to be in Shazam 2 because he didn't want his character tainted with this character. And it's like, well, like you try hard to like the guy, but for a fact that he's a nice guy with an asshole alter ego, if that makes sense, and it's very hard to root for him sometimes.
Yeah, but it's interesting. I think having him back is kind of a really 50-50 on my part. My thing is now, though, moving past The Rock, what kind of spin-offs are we getting?
Well, he said a female-led, and
I got that one.
A couple other ones. So I'm assuming one of them might be Hobbs and Shaw. I'm assuming if Vin Diesel retires and the family retires, at least Hobbs and Shaw can still be kicking out there on the side, and he could produce those movies, right?
Oh yeah,
and that would actually be good for him because he could slap his name on there and still be making good money off of it, and he doesn't necessarily need to act. You know what I mean? And then female-led, Michelle Rodriguez, I think she's gotten old. It's too late for her to get her own spin-off movie, but maybe we can see Homegirl, the one that rides with the crew. What's her name? The girl? The black girl?
Fuck. The hacker chick?
The hacker chick.
Oh.
Maybe her. If Tyrese wants to keep on doing it, maybe him. Maybe they can get a whole new crew. I don't know. But they would have to see if they can recapture that chemistry. And to keep that franchise going, at least the Fast one, that it's going to be very hard to sell. So I'm assuming that it would just have to go by Fast franchise, spin-off, whatever. How do they do it with the Hobbs and Shaw? The Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw or something like that?
I think something like that.
They would have to do that with the other movies as well.
Mm-hmm.
Fast and Furious presents Hacker Chicken Ludacris. I don't know.
Oh yeah, because they were Hobbs and Shaw works. I don't know if people liked the movie. Let us know if you did. But my thing is, they work well together. Their chemistry works. Like I liked in Fast 8 Fate of the Furious, where like where they're trying to escape the prison and stuff, and they have that whole action scene. Like, that's cool. Like, I like their dynamic, and it goes back to 7, and they're cool characters. If I had to throw in an idea for a spinoff, Giselle and Han. That's what I want.
A Giselle and Han spinoff.
Yeah. See where they go after 10. Assuming
how they ghost themselves once again and go into hiding.
Where they decided to go, because they throughout the movies
they were supposed to go to Tokyo. And he went there already and died. So I mean, it's like,
yeah, but he wasn't with the love of his life.
Yeah, but does he want to go back and be tramado? I don't know, man. What if DK comes back around and is like, Han's not dead? What the fuck? And
I just want to see their adventures. I need their
send the whole Yakuza against them.
Hey, Yakuza.
It's the Yakuzis.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. It'd be cool. It could be cool. They were badass together. That's what I need out of this franchise. Just them. A female led one, I'm not too sure about, and that's not even to sound like bad or misogynistic. I couldn't think of any of these characters being like leaders in their own movie.
Getting her spinoff.
Is she?
No,
I'm gonna say good for her.
It's not confirmed, but it would be very, very a very bumpy road.
Well, if it's like based on their whole like nobody shtick, like it could be. I could see her and who's supposed to play her brother? What's his name? The Hemsworth.
Oh, Scott Eastwood.
Oh, Eastwood. My fault.
Yeah,
Scotty Eastwood. I could see them being like a sibling dynamic throughout that movie and kicking ass, taking
little
names.
Nobody.
Yeah, that could be cool.
I could see something like that too. Yeah, because I thought Scott Eastwood was gonna be a little bit more prominent in these movies. Like I said, I thought he was supposed to be that Paul Walker figure, and like they were gonna maybe do some spinoffs with him and stuff like that. But they would have to. I'm trying to think what would sound good, but not sound like it's redoing the Fast franchise. Because I mean, on one side we can continue down the road of like Spy and like what Hobbs and Shaw did and went fucking balls to the wall bonkers with a fucking T-100 and
goddamn Superman,
fucking motorcycle that fucking
Transformer,
fucking doing all kinds of crazy shit. So, The Rock stopping a helicopter blade by him, or holding onto a helicopter from flying off with his bare hands, like fucking Captain America.
Yeah.
They can go that route, or they can go down the route of Fast and the Furious 4, where it's more grounded. Shit means something in this world again, except for maybe that family. Like they're over there getting shot, and then you see Dom and them in the distance, like explosions and whatever. I don't know.
A Shaw spinoff would go hard,
like with Owen brothers or the Shaw brothers or whatever.
Owen and Deckard. Is that their names?
Yeah, might go hard. Yeah. The hand-to-hand combat.
That's why, make them. Well, they'd be the protagonists, but maybe label them the bad guys in this one, and then just watch them like fucking drop bodies. That would be fucking cool. Maybe involve their mother, cause she was one of the highlights in 8 too. She was cool.
Yeah, she don't really do anything. She's more like a cameo.
Yeah, but she had those connections, those badass connections.
That's true.
Like, it makes me want to know what's her deal. How did her son get into that whole special ops?
It's funny because when I was watching 8, you know how we play, that game, that Riders Republic. You know how like the jetpacks or whatever. They use that in Fast 8, and I was just like, hey. Like, yeah. So
that's from the game.
That was in Fortnite. No, I'm playing Imagine. But another little funny thing, we heard that, and this is an exclusive from Entertainment Weekly, that Alan Ritchson, the buff big bad who we thought was family, spoilers, it was not family at the end of the day, that apparently he lucked out and got this what would it be called? Fucking help me out, man. You're just looking at me like I'm crazy.
What are you talking about?
He got the role.
No,
he got the
what
role
the fuck?
Behind Keanu Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
So we almost saw Keanu Reeves.
That'd been fucking cool
in the Fast universe, and it all came down to what he says is scheduling conflicts. They couldn't get Reeves to be in the role. I'm assuming John Wick 4 was probably the reason why.
Most likely.
He wound up saying that he was making another movie when a stroke of luck happened where the movie was put on pause because of a snowstorm. And he got the call saying that things didn't pan out with Keanu Reeves, that he's scheduling conflicts, and that if he was free. Luckily, the production for the movie he was working on was halted because of the snowstorm and was picked up later on, but he was still able to film for Fast and the Furious. And then something kind of popped out to me, but let's talk about this really, really quick, because in the next quote, he kind of makes me think a little bit. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But I don't know. Would we have preferred Keanu Reeves over him? I kind of liked him. Like I said, I think he was a little stacked and yoked, but I mean, I like him in Jack Reacher, and I think he's a really good actor in my opinion.
He's stacked from Jack Reacher.
So I'm kind of biased about it. But
he's a good actor. His role, he fits that badass military role. Keanu, although I love him as an actor and everything, I feel like he wouldn't have shined as properly in this one.
Like that wouldn't have been his role. I don't know. I can kind of see him as that like seasoned CIA, like no nonsense type of character. Because you always see him as the hero. I don't think we see him a lot as the villain. So it would have been.
I don't know.
It would have been a new role for sure.
It would have, but that's the thing, because maybe that's why I can't see him in that role. Or maybe it's because I have too much of, like Rickman in my fucking head. Because think about it, you're supposed to be this. By the time you meet him, spoilers for Fast X. By the time you meet him in the movie, he's like, I guess he's kind of his partner, but like bodyguard also kind of thing. I don't know if I could see. Sorry, Keanu, I love you, but scrawny Keanu in that role.
Oh, scrawny Keanu. Yeah, he is kind of scrawny. Yeah,
like it works for John Wick because he's supposed to be fast, and he is kind of seasoned in that role too. By every time he gets hit, it actually feels something. But I feel like in the franchise, having that
Fast franchise,
I feel like having that that kind of body would really throw you off, because everyone else is yoked and not getting hurt, and I feel like he should be getting hurt.
That's true. Yeah, because I think with Alan Rickman, it kind of seemed like they were filling that slot of like the Hobbs role. It seems like ever since Hobbs with Dwayne Johnson, they've been trying to fill in that role with another buff actor, which was John Cena at one point. Now it seems like he's the big brute that's like throwing people all over the place. And if that's the role that they wanted somebody to be in, that's cool. But I would have done really well with maybe like Keanu doing some hand-to-hand with like maybe some gun work or whatever, and getting beat up just a little bit and stuff like that, opposed to that strong dude that just flings people all over the fucking places and able to toss them.
If they
it would have been different for sure. Like different direction.
Yeah, if they throw Keanu in like I said earlier, that Shaw spinoff, and like make him and him go hand to hand, I could see that. But I couldn't see him in like this military guy,
military role type shit.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. I get that. But on the second half of the quote, he does say, he said that while filming, a producer for the Fast franchise said that he sounded low, like kind of like down. He had said, "Oh God, whatever you got to say, just say it. I can take it. I'm a big boy. You're not going to be And he basically told him that he's not going to be working with Justin Lin anymore. This was around the time where I'm assuming he was let go for whatever reason. They never even made it public. And he was like, I was like, okay, am I still in the movie? And I guess the producer like comforted him, saying, yes, of course, we're excited to work with you. They just decided to go separate ways with Justin. And I was like, okay, you can just say that next time. I'm very grateful that it worked out. So at one point, I'm guessing things were getting a little rocky to the point where he probably thought he didn't have a job. Now, I know it sounds kind of like the way he said it, like, oh yeah, like it just was out of the blue or something. But I'm assuming when it comes to productions, you're pretty much ear to the ground type shit, and you can see something coming before it happens. So him worrying that the plug was completely pulled over, over having some kind of hope, there had to be something big going on between the director and, I don't know, some people say it was the studio, some people say it was with Vin himself personally because of the direction that this film wanted to go. I don't know. I just thought that quote kind of was a little eye popping to me.
For sure. That would fucking suck, dude. That would just be like, damn, like imagine that shit. You're in a role, you're excited to be like, do it, and then you fucking, your stomach falls. I mean, your stomach kind of drops, and you're just like, damn, like I don't want to be fired. And then they tell you that, oh no, you're good, bro. Just heads up, we're not working with this director anymore.
Yeah.
For any reason, I wish I know public and what is it? Do not disclose agreements. They signed those probably and all that, so you can't even say why things happen. But I wish I could find out why.
Yeah, because I will say it was kind of a breath of fresh air to see him back for number 9, and I don't have anything against Luis Leterrier, who came in, but it just didn't feel 100% like the movie that Justin Lin would have made. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I really wish we could find out. Hopefully one of these days something comes up when we hear it. But that's crazy. And what is it we heard? I forgot which actors it was, but I think it was for Vulture, where they say that Michael Keaton was like, "Oh no, yeah, I'll take it" or whatever, after he denied it.
Yeah, John Lugamo. He wanted to.
John, fuck his last name.
Yeah, his last name is great.
What do you call it? But yeah, like imagine it was some situation like that where he's like, "Oh no, Keanu said he'll do it. Sorry, we got your hopes set, whatever."
Yeah.
And then Keanu comes and does it. That's probably what he was thinking.
Yeah, that too probably. Damn, that would have been crazy. That would have been a crazy situation. Like a twofer. No, but I think you're right. I think it's cool for the role that they picked him up for, but I can only imagine the possibility of what would have happened if Keanu.
Yeah.
I would have never even thought Keanu would have said yes to that. So the fact that it wasn't him who said no, and it was just like a scheduling conflict, it was like, oh damn, I'm already doing this action-packed movie. I can't, make time for that.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. But moving on to what will be basically our last couple topics. So Eva Longoria.
Who the fuck is that?
She came out. She's an actress. She came out in a few movies. I know a lot of people know her more for. I believe she was in Housewives or some shit like that. She's making her film debut. Okay, so be nice. She's making her film debut with this new movie called Flamin' Hot, which is supposed to be the documentary
I've heard about this.
Of the Hot Cheetos. You haven't seen the trailer, right?
I think I might have. No. Okay. I stumbled upon it on Twitter, but I scrolled.
I scrolled too. Yeah, I seen it too, but I scrolled. I didn't think it was a big deal, but she kind of made it a big deal, and we'll see the trailer to see how it's gonna look. But she wound up coming out and calling out a lot of, and I quote, white male directors for being able to still direct a movie after having a $200 million flop. But basically, a Latina woman wouldn't even get the chance to do that. So her Flaming Hot movie debuted at a film festival, the SXSW Film Festival. It won an audience award there. A lot of people liked it, and she basically weighed in saying she felt the weight of the community, the weight of every female director in that moment. She goes and says that we don't get a lot of bites of the apple. My movie wasn't low budget by any means. It was $100 million, but it wasn't $100 million, but it wasn't $2 million. When was the last Latina directed studio film? It was like 20 years ago. We can't get a movie every 20 years. She says the problem is if this movie fails, people go, oh, Latina stories don't work. Female directors really don't cut it. We don't get a lot of at-bats a white male can direct a $200 million flop, fail, and get another one. That's the problem. I get one at bat, one chance. Oh, why'd you do that? Work twice as hard, twice as fast, twice as cheap. You really carry the generational traumas with you into the making of the film. For me, it fueled me. I was determined. What do you think about that?
I hate this mentality. I don't know what it's not even for me. This isn't even a race thing like she's trying to be. I know I know that's what she's trying to make it sound like, but I doubt that shit for sure.
Race and female thing.
Yeah, like it's I recognize that Hollywood and film directors are a male dominated thing, but most women are actresses. You know what I mean? Really good actresses, I feel. You know what I mean? Like that's just where they fit. But there is a lot of good female directors. You know, what's her name? Greta Gerwig. I can't pronounce that. But in like so many others, you know. But it's definitely not a race or gender thing like she's trying to say. That's extreme as fuck.
Yes, because I think a lot, and I know you're looking into it. I'm way ahead of you. I got this.
Good.
But I looked into it, and I looked into, what directors were, who had $1 million flops. I don't want to bring his name up, but when this quote came out, a lot of people brought up James Gunn and the Suicide Squad, right? As we know, James Gunn had a record of hits before that flop. You know what I mean? And you could chalk it up to different reasons as well. Another person that I had seen was kind of getting looked at funny was Andrew Stanton. He had a $200 million flop with John Carter when that one released.
Yeah.
But the track record says that he made Wall-E, Finding Dory, Nemo, Toy Story 2. He worked on A Bug's Life. The original Toy Story he worked on as well. So he has a track record of hits. So when John Carter finally rolled around, and this was back in 2012, he already had made Wall-E, Finding Nemo, Finding Dory. I mean, Finding Dory was after. He worked on Toy Story 2. He worked on a lot of projects.
Yeah.
That when John Carter came out, it was kind of like, it was a flop, but is it his fault? Was it marketing's fault? Was it something that people probably didn't want to see at the time? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who knows? But he did get a film, which was Finding Dory after that. And I guess to be fair, he didn't get a $200 million movie because animation movies are way cheaper than $100 million or something like that. And then we looked at Blade Runner director Denis Villeneuve. He's Latino, okay?
Yeah.
He flopped with Blade Runner 2049, only making $267 million on a $185 million budget. So they made a profit, but it wasn't enough it barely covered marketing expenses.
Yeah.
I think it still left some on the table, and so they lost a little bit of money. But he's had, like I said, a slew of movies. He wound up getting a second chance with Dune. Obviously, he's doing it with Dune Part 2, but 2013 had Prisoners, Insanities, Sicario. You've seen Sicario. You know, it's good. Arrival, Enemy. So he's had a bunch of hits that, one flop, and they could, because by any means, a lot of people even say too, Blade Runner 2049 was a great legacy sequel. It's just nobody showed up to watch it.
Yeah.
And nobody showed up to watch it because people blame it on bad marketing or whatever and blah, blah, blah. People blame James Gunn's movie, The Suicide Squad, flopping at the box office on COVID and whatever, and yada, yada, yada. So there's always an excuse. I can kind of understand what she's saying as a female director. But as a Latina director, I don't think so. We see a lot of Latino directors. David Ayer is a Latino director. David Valenie is Latino, I believe, as well. So we are getting those people. I'm not sure what James Mangold is, but he looks Latino too. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna assume, but there is Latinos that get a second chance. Yes, they're male, but I'm assuming directing in Hollywood is probably more male than female, if that makes sense. And when women get a chance at, making their movies. Yeah. I mean, I could make the obvious case of Patty Jenkins. She made the Wonder Woman at 84 and it flopped. And, she got a couple movies taken away. And, who knows when she's going to direct another one, I think if you can build up a track record and have banger after banger, I think it shouldn't matter who your background or anything. It's just going to be like, oh, Eva Longoria's name's on it. It's going to sell tickets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You even said, who is she? Right? All she's done was acting. You've probably seen her in a couple films as like a mom or like a drunk Thea or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, so she's been in films, but like you need to make a name for yourself. You know what I mean? And a lot of female directors, they don't get to that point because either they have a stumble before they even take off or something like that. Like it's survival of the fittest. And if males do it better, I'm sorry, it's just not your lane. I apologize. I don't want to split it up like that, but she made it about.
She made it that way. I think at that point it's fair game because it is completely correct to be like, oh, so and so didn't he had a flop. What do you call it? What about whatever else? But like you said, if his track record is A+, and then he gets a B-, that the next one is going to be A+.
Like, just imagine, what if the movie is, like I said, Blade Runner 2049 was a really good movie. I haven't seen John Carter, so I can't speak on that one, but Blade Runner 2049 was a good movie. It's just people didn't go watch it because they didn't know what it was. You know what I mean? What if the movie's good, it's just marketing sucked, and so, people pick it up later, and it's a cult classic. Scott Pilgrim is a victim of that. You know what I mean? It didn't really do numbers until streaming. Across the Spider-Verse, or the first one, what was it called? Spider-Man? Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
That one didn't find its footing until streaming. That's when everybody was watching it and it was like, oh, this is one of the greatest Spider-Man movies. So there is excuses for that. I just think, I think she's preparing herself for just in case her movie's not well received.
And that even then, her case is fucking ridiculous because at that point, it's not going to be about her. It's going to be about everyone else being like, oh, it's because I'm Latina and I'm a female,
Oh, you're not supporting my movie.
Yeah, like dog, that is not the case. If this movie comes out, great. Wait, is this like streaming? Is this a streaming movie?
Yeah, it's going to be on Hulu.
She already fucked up. This is kind of
like her
like
first movie. They're not going to give her streaming, like I said, nowadays.
Streaming allows her to test the waters. I get that. How is she supposed to get there to where she wants to be if she's already done a stream movie? And now I understand that, but it is a double-edged sword, I feel.
Well, yeah, you're obviously not a lot of people are going to make their way for a streaming movie. You're going to get a lot of teenage buzz. I'm sure people are hearing, you're going to have those Latina girls that eat hot Cheetos at fucking 10 in the morning and shit that are going to check out this movie. And because it has hot Cheetos on there, it has a brand name. So it could do good, but I think obviously we're in a different era now where streaming movies is your foot in the door. And if that streaming movie can make numbers on streaming, then we'll see about how you do with a big box office kind of thing. But obviously movies aren't cheap and they're going to give you the money for it. So don't fuck it up. And if you fuck it up and this movie doesn't do good, don't be like, hey, it's because I'm a Latina woman. No, it's because you made a shit movie. If it's good and they diss her, that's a different story. Yeah. But, we got to see the movie, test it out first, and we'll determine what it is then. But I just don't like the argument that she did. But I do have the trailer here so we can check out, see if it intrigues us, and see if we'll give it a shot. And if you guys want a review of this movie, let us know.
I suppose.
You ready?
Yes.
Eva Longoria's Flaming Hot. Here we go.
We all write our own stories.
Where is Richard? I'd like to speak to him.
I'm here. This time. That's me, the Mero Mero, Mr. Richard Montañez. I'm the guy who helped bring the world the most popular snack it's ever seen.
Are you ready? A huevo.
I've been ready. All right. It was a little bit more like this. Spicy? Yeah, see, that's how I got here. Dear God, please forgive me for the gang, the drugs, the stolen cars.
What the heck, man? Let's move it.
Hey, he is praying, pendejo. Go ahead, baby.
The guy started at the very bottom. I know I don't look it, but I got a PhD. I'm poor, hungry, and determined, sir.
Okay, I can see you're gonna be a weird one.
What's happening?
Layoffs, son. Lots of them.
Frito-Lay isn't getting enough orders to keep the factory open.
Who eats Cool Ranch anyway? That lady.
Ow, wow, 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 wow.
What is it?
It burns.
Well, stop eating it.
No, I like it. It burns good.
I had been searching for an answer. And there it was. They had been there the entire time. I got an idea. It's a spicy chip. It's gonna change everything. It will save our factory. And you're a janitor. Okay, no, hang on.
Figure out the next step. Say, the Hispanic market will not be ignored.
The Hispanic market will not be ignored.
Good, but in your voice.
Why are we wasting time on this janitor's crazy idea?
Guys like you and me, we don't get shots like this.
You see that guy right there? I see a chingon, a montañez.
Yo soy montañez.
They're montañez.
Get out there
And be great.
We want to know that we matter to you. If we knew that there was a product out there for us, we'd say, take all our money, cabrones. I got a little hood there at the end, but...
Burns good or burns bad?
It burns good.
June 9th. So it looks pretty good. I don't think it looks bad.
It doesn't look bad.
It
But-
doesn't.
Doesn't look great either.
Oh, what?
I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's not my kind of story. You know, like I've never really cared for where the Cheetos came from, if that makes any sense.
Oh, really?
So I mean, if we have to watch it, I'll watch it, but this isn't something that just sparks my interest.
Oh, I thought it looked pretty funny.
It looks, yeah, it had
that
funny
kid
moments.
from TikTok is there. I don't know if you noticed him.
Yeah, I noticed him, yeah.
I don't know how good he'll do. I heard he was on that George Lopez show, that Lopez versus Lopez.
Oh.
I heard he was on there, but I haven't seen that either.
Mm-hmm.
It looks good. Honestly, the like the little frames where like the camera pans in and the background zooms out and stuff like that. It looks good. It looks interesting. I mean, don't sleep on it, man. Don't knock it. What representation? You don't want representation?
I'm all for that. I'm not saying
you gotta
that.
watch it in order to get representation, man. For our Latino and Latina brothers and
Blue
sisters.
Beetle comes out somewhere during the summer. I'm just playing. I mean, it looks good. Go check out the trailer for you guys yourself. I'm not too sure. This is something that I gotta actually watch. But even then, I don't know if I'm interested enough.
I just hope it's not another because I'm really pissed of how White Men Can Jump came out, and I'm like, damn.
Oh, you don't want it to be like that?
Yeah, I don't want it to be like, because it looks bright and colorful, kind of like how the trailers for that movie came out, and there was some funny stuff in there, and the same thing happened with that trailer too. Like, there was some funny shit that made me laugh too, and it drew me in. But sitting through the movie, it was a bear. So this one, I don't know. Hulu usually makes pretty decent movies. I don't know what happened with those because of COVID. Who knows? I'm not sure. But
I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, we gotta watch this movie where we apparently hate Latina filmmakers. Female filmmakers.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess because I don't want to be labeled a racist and misogynistic.
Yeah. You
got to pick a struggle, and I choose to be neither.
Damn, you get fucking double labeled in the span of an hour and a half. This is some bullshit. Like, it's not good. But yeah, if you guys want to see a review about it, go check it out. It's on YouTube right now. Let us know if it interests you guys.
Comes out June 9th.
June 9th, yeah. June 9th on Hulu. And on Disney Plus, on both platforms.
Yeah, before they decide to merge somewhere down the line.
Yeah, it'll be happening pretty soon. With that's gonna be our last topic of this episode, though. If there's anything that we missed, anything that we should have been talking about, a topic that we didn't bring up that you want to hear, a movie that you guys want us to review. Do you want us to review Flamin' Hot? Also, a way so you can go ahead, if you guys want to know a way so you can go ahead and support us in a big way. Josh, let them know where they can let us know.
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at FilmBros Podcast. We post when new episodes are up. You can hit us up there for anything news related, movie related that you want us to cover, and we will gladly cover it there. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you get your podcast at FilmBros Podcast. We are on a couple more sites, so go do that if you don't have Spotify, which, I mean, why don't you? Support us in a big way. Links in our bios is the link to our Buzzsprout. You can go ahead and subscribe to that. Once you do, you will get exclusive things that we put up. You know, little perk for you, and then you can earn a shout out on the episode. So why wouldn't you want that? You know, little nod to you guys. When it's all said and done, subscribe to our YouTube at FilmBros Podcast.
Yes, and like I've been saying, PSA, YouTube Music has podcasts now, and we will be uploading on there as well, so you guys can hear us on there as well. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for that, because we will be uploading pretty soon. With that, we'll talk to you guys on the next one.
Talk to you guys later.